The Madbean Fatpants Jr. is a boost pedal based on the input stage of the Echoplex Echo unit, which has been the basis for quite a few well-known boost pedals at this point. Going to be playing through a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe, recorded with a Red 5 RVD9 dynamic microphone straight in front of the speaker, combined with a couple of impulse responses, using a 1989 Fender USA Stratocaster Plus. The pedal is one knob, labeled Boost, which is pretty self-explanatory. It gives you up to 20 decibels of boost, which is really more than you'll ever need. Because I've done some post-processing on this video, this won't really show off the drastic volume changes you can get, but more so the tonal qualities of the pedal itself. There's an inherent frequency bump around 2.2 kHz, which adds a presence and a sheen to your signal in the upper mids. The Fat Switch doesn't just add bass frequencies, it makes the pre-mentioned frequency bump full range, instead of just narrow around 2.2K. It also adds a bit more saturation and volume compared to the non-fat setting, making this pedal work really well to drive your amp into quite natural sounding breakup. It's also a useful setting for if your guitar or amp is already quite treble heavy and you just don't need the extra boost in that area. Now with the pedal engaged at about the same volume as before. Now I'm going to flip back and forth between the two sounds so it's a little easier to compare. In this next part, I'm going to flip back and forth between the boost engaged normally and with the fat boost on. Because of the volume differences between the two, the samples of the fat boost were recorded at around 8 o'clock on the boost knob, whereas the non-fat version was set at 10 or so. This got them to about the same volume. I personally use the pedal for just a small push out of the mix during a solo, using something close to either setting from the previous section. When you turn the boost up further, you start to get into some more tube, pushy territory. now with the fat boost engaged at about 10 o'clock. As you can see, there's still a lot more gain on tap, which I'll give you a small sample of. Though because of the silly volume you reach at this point, you can hear me picking rather cautiously, cutting it off before my neighbors came banging at my door. The documentation provided by Madbean had no suggestions for any part substitutions, and with my level of expertise at the time, I didn't think it wise to start messing with a well-functioning circuit. So as it is, mine is completely stock. Because this was one of my first builds, it was quite the challenge. The main problem was that I didn't really have the part knowledge yet to gauge the size of components I ordered, which eventually made it kinda hard to get everything to fit. Make sure to get low-profile electrolytic capacitors, for instance, for this type of build. Looking back though, the board is tiny with a rather small amount of components, and there is not a ton of off-board wiring to be done, so it shouldn't be too hard for an intermediate builder. The 1590A enclosure should always keep you on your toes a little, because precision is absolutely paramount working in a small space like that. Definitely one of the easier builds in that category though.